All right, all right, all right. Brandon, are you still there?
Yes, I am. I'm coming back right now.
You just
Here we are.
froze. You're just frozen. Hi. All right. What's good, everybody? Everybody, what's good? What's good? This is, whew, we
The There
finally
Will Be Peace
made it.
podcast
Yeah, we
with
finally
your
made
host,
it.
with your host, Queen Alexis, and
Pharaoh.
Brandon, aka Pharaoh the Barber. You did. We
Yeah.
here.
So,
Sorry for the inconvenience last week. We had some
hmm,
stuff we needed to take care of, so we couldn't premiere
yeah.
last week. But we here right now.
Whew, and what a journey it was to get here, Lord Jesus.
Right. It's let's just say, as I look at this here body butter, I'm just saying. But
Mm. Uh, so, for those who don't know us, that which is pretty much we are live on YouTube. Hopefully by next week we'll be live on YouTube and Facebook. I don't know what's going on with Facebook, but it's tripping. But we're gonna work this out. I
Facebook on bull crap. That's what it is.
I mean, after I think they converting over to the metaverse. Look, fix the regular verse first before you go all that. I'm just saying. Anyway, um, for those who don't know who we are um two entrepreneurs, artists, parents. Regina Brooks, how you doing? How you doing? Mwah. Oh, that's
Hey,
Gina.
Regina. Hey,
Oh,
it's Gina Storm. What's up, Gina? What's up, Gina?
child, I didn't know your name. But
But
anyway,
I guess she had to put her government on the joint, cause
before we get into the show, let me put it like this: we are artists, we are poets, and we're from Chicago, and most of us don't know any of anybody else's government name. So, hi, Gina. How you doing? How you doing?
right.
Oh, the basis of this show is, well, we're trying to help out some parents, some parenting parents, some families. Hey, w- like we're trying to help out because we seeing too much. Ma'am and I are seeing too much of toxicity when it
Yeah.
comes down to co-parenting, whether they broke up or not, and children are involved. It's just a lot. What's been going over on the media and social media and regular media is just toxic love, toxic relationships, toxic families, no boundaries, no type of structure, no type of healing.
Not
And
at all.
we decided to make this show, and we decided to one share our experience, and I also share all of the revelations that we learned throughout the years. Whew, and
Cause,
when I say years, I mean years.
cause believe it or not, y'all, we've been together on and off for 11 years.
Has it been 11? Now
It's
12?
been 11.
Going on
No, it's
12?
been 11.
It's going on
Well,
12.
yeah, it's going on 12. Yeah, cause it 2010 when we met. So yeah,
I've been
you know,
I've been dealing with you for 12 years. I quit.
12 years. So it's like, yo,
Oh,
we,
God.
the marriage in between there, kids,
And then,
divorce and all that kind of stuff. So,
man, but
but
a lot of growth, a lot of growth happened.
yeah, a lot of growth, definitely a lot of growth. Cause if the growth didn't happen, then we wouldn't be where we are right now.
Gina said, I remember, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's been that long. So, but now I've been saying this a lot lately, as far as our relationship now, as opposed to what it was back then. And like I said, it took some learning and growing on my part and on her part, but also, and I think I told you this too. If I didn't, I'm going to tell you now. you about the only one that I can be myself around. And what I
Um,
mean is, I'm goofy as hell, and a lot of women nowadays they want a guy to be hard, and that's not me. I'm not that type of dude. So
I
you
just want
know,
you not to be crazy. Just don't be crazy.
well, and I said this too. I'd rather deal with the crazy I know than the
Restrain
crazy
your
I don't know.
crazy.
Because
But
a lot of and I don't mean to hurt nobody's feelings, but I'm gonna say this too. Because a lot of women nowadays crazy as hell, and the brothers we ain't no better. So
yeah,
if you thought y'all was gonna sugarcoat the shit, I'm not.
nah.
I'm not. I can't. I'm too old. I'm too old to
Well,
sugarcoat anything.
well, let's start off with pretty much this show gonna be with introduction and how we met. As throughout the following weeks, we're gonna break down some of the things, some of the lessons that we learned. So, who want to start off on how we met?
Shit, I'll kick it off. Ain't no problem. So some of y'all know, some of y'all don't know. Me and Alexis met at Strictly for the Listeners, hosted by Black Ice over on 103rd and Western. Shout out to
No, no, we met at Demo Kings.
oh yeah, we did meet at Demo Kings. My fault. That was the second time we met. First time we met was at Demo Kings. She had on this blue jean fitted dress. You did situating everything
We will remember
that
that.
was there was to situate. So I believe Toya remember this because she was with us. That matter of fact, she the one brought me up there. Me and Jinx. Salute to Jinx. Rest in peace, man. I miss you, dude. Straight up. But anyway, no, I sized up. I ain't gonna lie. I sized up. I looked at her. I said, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna shoot my shot." And that's what I did. So the next night, we was at Strictly for the Listeners. At Brother Tyler's spot over on 103rd and Western, the KNS Holistic Training and Development Center. A lot of y'all probably heard of that place. It's a dope place. His brother owned the martial arts dojo right next door. So, but anyway, we got there. I shot my shot again. And then later on that night, we went to Piece of Posh over on 115th in St. Lawrence. My homie Savannah, she owned that spot. It's a clinic over there now, but it was a entertainment venue slash restaurant slash whatever you wanted it to be for that night. But anyway, we met there. We got to she I guess she was feeling me because we found ourselves on the sidewalk kissing and talking at the same time.
I'm gonna let you
So,
go ahead and finish your version of this story, and then I'm gonna come back with mine because there's some indiscretions up in this in this story right here.
I mean, go ahead with the indiscretions. Go ahead
Go
with the
ahead.
indiscretions. Go ahead with the indiscretions. Go ahead. Cause I done told pretty much the story. I left some stuff out probably, but
So pretty much, let's go back to the beginning when we met. We met at this place called Demo Kings. I was hosting there and also working there. For those who are in Chicago and is familiar with the Chicago hip hop scene, there was this place on 95th and Wentworth called Demo Kings, and it was a black owned recording studio and shop. I usually worked at the shop and during the day and at night on everybody track singing. Yeah. Anyway, and at that time that him and I met, I was joining this organization, this artist organization called Poet, POT, People of Extraordinary Talent, and I was meeting Toy and McCray Hawthorne. How you doing? She wasn't Hawthorne at the
at
time.
that time, no,
She was still McCray.
she's still
Anyway,
McCray. Shout out
so
to Mama McCray too.
so she came with our boy Jinx. Rest in peace. Continue to rest in peace, Jinx. Jinx does. and Brandon, which at the time I found out his stage name was Pharaoh. And what happened was she came to us back. We was just starting up the show and everything. And everything. Well, not yet. And he saw me. He talking about he was shooting his shot then. A lie. A lie. I couldn't get nothing out his mouth at that day, on that day.
That's too
No,
many signs you up. Shit.
he introduced, this is Jinx. I was like, I know Jinx, what's up? How you doing? Hugged him and everything. How you been and everything? And this is Pharaoh. I was like, oh, how you doing, Pharaoh? And I got hi. Um yeah, how you doing? Stuttering as usual. So here I
That
didn't
was
get a
then.
complete sentence out of him until the next day. And then pretty
Yeah,
much
that was 29-year-old me.
yeah.
41-year-old me, yeah,
Now,
totally
okay,
different.
let's talk about the age. Okay, since you want to bring up the age, let's talk about the age. So Brandon and I are 9 years apart. When we met, he was 29 and I was 20. Mm-hmm. Barely legal. Just
You were grown. That's all that mattered. As
yes.
long as you wasn't goddamn it 16, 17 years
Robbing a
old,
cradle like that. Oh,
I'd have been in jail. Yeah, it was
boy,
crazy.
we met and it was pretty much like a whirlwind, like a fast whirlwind. Because we met that Thursday, was that strictly for listeners on that Friday. He finally talked to me at the end of the set and everything. He finally just kind of appeared next to me like abracadabra, poof, Pharaoh. There you go. Like, I know we met yesterday. I like to get to know you and stuff. I was like, okay, I like that too. And we was there. We was there with some ear candy. Now,
Right. You know what I'm saying?
shout out Miles and
Miles, Unspoken was
Unspoken
there.
was there.
Unspoken was there. Yeah.
So afterwards, they was like, yo, we going home or we going over to the Piece of Posh? So we went to Piece of Posh. I was like, I'm gonna stay out, yeah, and go to Piece of Posh. And here we go. We had a good time up at Piece of Posh, and after the show and everything, I don't know how we ended up kissing and getting each other's information between kisses.
Right. And not only that,
24 hours later, we was
you
kissing.
had un, you had Unspoken and Just Words peeking out the door, seeing what we were doing.
Like, for real though, we was
That-
kissing. We ended up kissing and it was like, I had to stop. I was like, wait a minute, I'm kissing you and I don't even know your real name. All right, look, my name Brandon. I said, okay, that's nice. My name Alexis. All right, cool. Back to kissing. Wait, what's your birthday? I'm January 18th. I'm February 16th. I'm a Capricorn. I'm Aquarius. Went back to kissing. This
mm,
all the introductory conversations was happening. Back to kissing. Don't know why. To this day, I still don't know why. I don't know if it was love at first sight or hormones. Because for me,
could have been a little of both.
I'm leaning towards the latter for me. I'm just saying.
Could have been a little bit of both. Because, like I say, it just happened. Well, I can't explain what happened. I know how it happened. It just happened.
It just happened. So afterwards, I think the next day I had to work a reggae set at um
Demo Kings.
yeah, and he came through. And he came through with me. And yeah, you take it from there. What happened that night?
Well, everybody know reggae music is let's call it what it is. Dry humping music. Goddamn it, it's dry humping music. You know what I'm saying? Both of us got a little touch, got a little hot. You did. So
A little
what had
too
happened was,
touch. It was
huh?
touch. We was church. Church.
What had happened? We got a little Yeah, I look closer again during the reggae joint. But no, I actually went home with her that night after the
Yeah.
reggae joint.
We got closer and closer.
Yep, and
We look
closer,
more close.
and yeah, and that's what had happened. So
Now, let's stop right there and just analyze what just happened here. We met on Thursday, got to talking and doing kind of a surface introductory question and answer on Friday night. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Saturday night, we in bed with each other. Can you see the whirlwind? See how fast this went? Very quick.
But but wait, let's not negate the fact that you didn't think I was gonna call you back after that
That
night.
was afterwards. That
That's
was
what I said. That after that night. So after that night, I called her. She like, oh, I wasn't even expecting for you to call. I'm like, why not? Why not?
because how fast things progress. We meet
But you,
Thursday night, we make it now Friday night, we humping Saturday night.
but you gotta remember, I'm grown. God damn it, I don't care. You know, if it didn't go down, if it did go down, I'm grown. I ain't gonna put nobody in the shame for nothing.
But
I
at
don't
the
force nobody to do nothing that way.
but at the time, not even at the time. When a relationship, so-called relationship starts out this way, it kind of doomed for disaster.
Not
And
necessarily. Not necessarily. It depends on the people.
it does. Well, in our case,
Well, yeah. I
as
mean,
fast as it started, as
it started getting
fast,
like that. It started getting disasters. I think until like probably about a month in.
yep. Now, here we go. I'm glad you brought this one up. We went in, honeymoon phase, everything. We just lovey-dovey and everything. And what happened was a month, maybe no, it was actually 2 months in, because we were still kind of lovey-dovey a month in.
Well,
We
no, we were, but you was going through some stuff because somebody passed. I forget his name.
Victor.
Victor. Yeah, Victor
Not
passed.
about the
So,
past. Okay. That was 2 months in.
mm-hmm.
It was 2 months in. Um, we was going through the honeymoon phase. And 2 months in, my godfather passed. And after that was a lot of stuff going on within my family. We was constantly arguing and fussing and fighting and everything. What happened is actually at this point is hindsight is when I should have realized, oh, I'm not really as ready to be in a committed relationship. Reason being was, and this is what we actually gonna go into today, communication level. I wasn't ready or he wasn't ready. We didn't at this point we was honeymoon phasing a lot. Making
Yeah.
out, we was in the organization, and poet and everything, and we was performing everywhere, but making out, and every now and then, every chance we get, hunching on each other.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we really didn't really get to the meat of
Yeah.
things yet. We were just
But and
enjoying.
then right, and then on top of that, a lot of y'all probably know this already. A lot of y'all don't. I had just got out of a marriage like 3 years before that.
Yeah.
So for me, I was ready, but then again, I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And
You
uh,
were damaged. I had got out of a relationship, a very toxic relationship at that about 10 months prior.
the
Me,
CEOs is 10 months prior. My answer's like I said, about 3 4 years. I mean, you'd thought out it was over it, but I
nah,
I really wasn't. Not
nah,
not not at that time.
nah.
But then and then too. by both of us being artists and poets, you would think it'd be easy to
to express
communicate, to
myself.
express our feelings and whatnot, and it wasn't, because it
Mm-mm.
was always, she would get emotional, and then sometimes I get upset, and we clash.
Well, okay,
Cause
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. What happened was during this time, our actual first argument. Um, Nothing was going on. There was nothing wrong at all. Look at hindsight at it, there was nothing wrong. You know how a relationship goes. If after a little bit after the honeymoon stage, everybody start getting comfortable with each other.
right,
So what happened was we went from talking to each other every day, almost all day,
it was all day.
all
It
day.
was all day.
To like once a day, maybe skip a few days. And what that did to me was trigger my abandonment issues from previous relationships and also relationship I had with my father. So I called and out of fear, thinking that, oh, he's pulling back, he's leaving, he probably found somebody new and everything. And I went into panic mode. What he called me being emotional was actually me going into panic mode due to a triggered abandonment issue that I was having at that point in time. So I hit him up and I was like, it feel like you distancing yourself from me and everything. And I want to know why. What is it? What is wrong? You found somebody else doing everything. I went tripping. Did not go tripping. He was
and
telling me
and 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 I'm sitting up here in the cut like, what in the hell is you talking about? I ain't say I was going no place.
literally, literally, he was like, I'm just going to work. I just got off of work. Where is this coming from? And I was like, no, no, I just feel like you distancing yourself from me. And I think that you found somebody new and everything because we're not talking as much. And when you are around me, you always tired and everything. Not putting into to
Put
consideration.
into account that I just get off work.
He got off of work, but I had not really checked any of them emotions, any of those problems. I didn't even know I had them at that time. I was just going from one relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship and gathering all this baggage. This on my end. Now, you want to discuss how you was feeling about which
Well, I was gonna say, along with me, just getting over a marriage, I also had, I don't know if I want to call it abandonment issues, so to speak,
you
because
had trust issues.
it was well that, and my mother, she was there, but she wasn't there. She was the one, she worked nights. She, sleep during the day all the time because she had to go to work. But it's the stuff that happened when I was younger that I was still kind of dealing with. I dealt with it and I let it go, but it's kind of was still lingering. It ain't lingering now. I'm all right now. It's just with everything that we was going through kind of brought those feelings back, and it's kind of hard to deal with at first.
You
But
want to talk about what you experienced in that first marriage?
we do I need to?
Pretty
But
okay.
for the sake of the
Summary.
conversation,
Summary.
for the, for the sake of the conversation, communication broke down on both ends, and by the time we started talking again, she had already stepped out on me. So, and well, the kicker is, and I laugh about it now because it's funny as hell to me. She told my sister what she was doing, and my sister told me. So I don't know why she would tell a 15-year-old girl that she cheating on her brother,
That
but
was
she
funny.
told him, which in turn, I'm like, fuck this shit, I'm gonna go. So I gathered my stuff, and I left. Of
So
course, I couldn't leave right away because I had to get some gas money from my pop, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway,
okay, you said that the communication broke down in that
yep,
marriage. Why did it break down?
I stopped talking. I stopped talking. At the
What
time
was
I was in.
happening? What was happening at the time that made
Well,
you just
that's what I'm getting ready to go into. At the time I was in between jobs. I had just lost. I was working at Centos over there in Bedford Park. I had just lost that job. So I was looking for another job, and ironically, her dad knew somebody that worked at for the schools as a janitor through a private company. So he got me that job. So I was working that job at the time, and like I said, just communication breakdown. Uh, 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 she was insecure too because a lot of people tried to get at me in front of her. Get his boat. They tried to get at me in front of her, and
savage?
I was like, "Word, y'all just gonna." You know what? I ain't gonna say that because I wasn't even paying attention to it honestly. Because when somebody flirt with me, Jack, I'd be oblivious to it.
Lost,
Cause so
oblivious
it's a couple of women that done flirted with me, and I ain't even paying no attention because I ain't used to nobody flirt with me.
to years later.
So it's like I said, that goes back to the piece about being the artist and the poet and being able to and I should be able to express myself a little better than that, but I just didn't. I didn't do it. I just didn't do it. It was one of those things where it was an oxymoron. Like you can express yourself poetically with everything that's going on in the world, but you can't express yourself poetically as far as your feelings go. And that's something I
So,
had to work on.
let's put it all together. So, because we also talking about the topic of communication within relationships and everything, romantic relationships, and pretty much people's different level. My level of communication is a freak out, pushy type of. I feel like you leaving me, or I feel like you're finding someone else. You found somebody else new, or abandonment issue, so I go into a panic. Or stuff going on with me, I go into a whole rage and everything, and not really listening. I'm talking,
But
I'm
you ain't
trying
hearing
to
nothing.
get everything out and not hearing nothing. Where Brandon, you pretty much shut down.
Well, it's levels to the shutdown. Because if I feel like you ain't listening to me, then I'm gonna stop talking. And then after that, if you still ain't listening, then I'm just gonna be like, fuck it. And it's a fucked up attitude to have. But when
True.
you feel like nobody listening to you, then you like, what's the point? What's the point of me saying anything? And then let's tie this in too, because that ties in with mental health issues and stuff like that. When people don't have nobody to
Mm.
talk to, you know.
Mm.
So and let me say this too before we move on, fellas, fellas. I gotta talk to you for a second, right? So you in a relationship with this woman, right? Y'all been together for how long y'all been together, right? All y'all doing is fighting and fucking. Okay? Fighting and fucking. That's all y'all doing. Y'all ain't talking, y'all ain't doing none of that, but y'all fucking the dog shit out of each other, then y'all fighting each other to death. Let me tell you from experience right quick, right? That ain't gonna work.
It's
That
not.
ain't gonna work. You got to open your damn mouth and you have to communicate. She ain't not no mind reader. She ain't gonna know what's wrong with you. She may feel like something wrong with you, but until you open your mouth, she's not gonna know. And vice versa,
Mhm.
ladies, y'all too. You
Mhm.
know, don't think that we not mind readers either. So if we ask you what's going on, you say I'm all right. We know damn well you ain't all right. So you again,
I'm
just like I said
fine.
before, you need to open your damn mouth.
Hit them with the I'm fine.
No, don't give me
It's
that bullshit.
cool. I'm
Mm-mm.
okay.
Cause the minute she say that, something wrong. And then what I hated when what Alexis did in the early part of our relationship, I need to talk to you. The fuck for? Like what I do now? Cause that was another thing with me. I had every time something went wrong, I felt like I did it. Because I would blame myself for certain things, and when in all actuality, it wasn't always on me. So
and let's talk about this one right here. With our experiences of past relationships and everything, that we need to talk, ladies, my sisters.
ooh,
We accumulate everything that we found an issue with, and instead of dealing with each and every last one of them individually,
y'all want to come at us at one time with it.
is gather them all up, put them in a file, and have a what I call a staff meeting. We need to talk. And what it is, instead of dealing with each and every issue individually and actually processing on whether is there's something going on outside of me or is something going on internally. A lot of my issues that I brought up to him was some internal stuff, and I didn't give it to him as or come to him as well. This how I'm feeling about me. I projected what my insecurities was on him. And he wasn't doing nothing. Really wasn't
Not
doing.
another.
But at the
Not
same
another.
time, vice versa, because he was still dealing with that heartbreak of his first marriage. So he
Mm-hmm.
has some trust issues too. So instead of processing the issue at hand, instead of processing what's going on at that point and seeing, well, is this what's going on in this relationship right now? Or is this what I'm actually, am I
Still
tripping
dealing with.
else? We went on
Good.
projecting. We went on
And
projecting.
they didn't realize we was projecting at first.
Did not. You would think,
So
and you would think this would just be in the, oh, that's the first year. No,
no,
this was
this was
years ago.
ongoing. It was like and then as far as when well, I know this jumping ahead, but I'm gonna say it. As far as when we got our divorce, we was divorced for like 4 years until
About 3.5.
nah, it was four. It was
About
four. Cause remember, well, no, you're right. It was three and a
3.5.
half. It was about 3.5. Cause when we finally came to one accord was I want to say towards the end of 2019, right before the
Mhm.
pandemic hit. Well, actually, it was a little bit before that. A little bit
And that,
before that, I think it was that summer. We came to one accord, and so
and that had to happen through tragedy.
yep, because that's
Instead of
around the time the
happening,
kids. That was
yeah,
around the time the kids, almost got put in the system. And when y'all know what I mean by put in the system,
yeah.
that the letter people, D,
Let me
C, F, and S.
Okay, let's go and
So
tell that story right here. All right, well, pretty much our communication problems kept going even after we
and
became
going,
parents. Even after we became parents, um, we use instead of coming together, instead of being bringing peace into the situation, especially after we found out we was about to be parents with Nay and everything.
mm-hmm,
That whole pregnancy, we was
yep,
fighting, fighting,
fighting,
arguing,
fussing,
fighting,
arguing,
listening to
state in jail,
everybody else. Look, listening to everybody else, listening
and
to
knowing damn well so we shouldn't be listening to them folks. Some of them,
at all, at
cause
all.
cause, cause it. and then let me say this, right? So when you in a relationship and you in the public, no, people like drama.
Mm-hmm.
People like drama, and they gonna try to perpetuate that drama so they can see y'all argue. But it's up to you to catch that and nip it in the bud. We didn't do that in the beginning,
We didn't. We didn't even
but
do it in our marriage.
we didn't.
It just kept arguing.
We just kept
Kept
arguing. We just
arguing.
kept arguing, fussing, fighting, fucking, fussing, fighting, arguing, fucking. Notice it's a trend here: fussing, fighting, arguing, fucking. That's what we were doing.
And no peace.
Nobody was talking. Nobody was saying nothing.
And no peace.
And no peace.
We eventually got divorced. We got married 2014. Yeah,
Yep. And
2014.
got the divorce was final 2016.
Yeah. Separated 2015 because of the same old pattern that we kept on
That they
having.
kept doing. We kept going
Going
with it.
over and over and over again. And it
Now you
wasn't
would think. Now you would think that with the pattern we had developed over the years that we would know better because we had broke up a couple times before we got married.
But wait a minute. Whoa. You actually brought up something. You would think because of the pattern over the years and everything, we would know better in our marriage. Now, you actually set it up for my next question. Did you realize that even we had this pattern where it came from, the root of it?
Not not at first. Not at
How
first.
did you learn how to communicate in a romantic relationship? What was your first example?
Well, see, with me, it was seeing. Now, let me set this up right quick. Now, my dad and my other mother's anniversary is tomorrow. They've been together for 32, 33 years now.
As long as
Now,
I was born, I've been living.
they
Yeah.
got married in '89. Brittany's born in '91.
Okay.
So it's like 33, 34 years. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, in the beginning, right before Brittany got here, my baby sister, I was with my dad, and my other mother came up there. She almost ran him over with a car.
What
Yeah,
about what you saw with your dad and your mama?
well, yeah, they got the arguing and fussing too. There's an
Mm-hmm.
instance on Christmas Day I never forget. My dad and my cousin came to the house because him and my mama had divorced already. So
Mm-hmm.
they came to the house, and him and my mama got into it. And my sister Andrea, she saying get off my mama, get off my mama. Me and Anthony stayed in the bed because we were too scared to confront our dad
Mm.
at that time. So, but he was going through what he was going through at the time too. He was drinking and drugging, but but at that time, but eventually he got clean and he been sober for shit, what, almost 40 years now.
Now, for me, my parents wasn't married. Um, I grew up with my mama and my grandma in the house. My dad was in and out. Okay, dad in
Yeah,
and out, really not
he
there when she needed him to be there. Um,
right.
he wasn't there, so I saw the back and forth with them two at times, and him, she'll go off, he'll retreat, and then also the communication within our home. Um, you really don't know how to talk to folks. If you just knew, and I learned this till later on, when I was grown and talking to my mom and everything. Pretty much her growing up in the house with just her and my grandmother is pretty much do as I say, not as I do.
And I
You
hate that.
have a voice.
I hate that with a passion. I
Yeah,
hate that
you
with a
don't have
passion.
a voice. You don't have a voice. You really don't have a say so. And
Just,
that pretty much molded her her view of her perspective and her actions with communication until we grown. She grown, she got 2 kids, and she dealing with 2 baby daddies that really don't want to be there, and they giving her the flux. So, and then she working, and then taking care of grandma, and all this frustration. She didn't know how to stop and go, I'm frustrated off of everything else, and this ain't got nothing to do with you. So it was a constant back and forth between me and her. It was a constant back and forth between her and my brother, because automatically it went very argumentative instead of it going peaceful or any resolution at all. So here, 2 people that are coming together, one on hormones, 2
Yeah.
on trauma bonds, because yeah, we done told each other what we've been through in relationships and everything, and 3 poor communication skills. We don't know how to talk to each other.
Which is an oxymoron because we both was poets and we express ourselves all the time.
Now, I mean,
And it don't. I realized that because I when I finally realized what it was, I'm like, how is this happening? And I can express myself freely, poetically, with everything except that.
but coming face to face, no. Coming issues is arising in our relationship, and we can't effectively communicate with each other because all
Right.
we know is fighting. All we
And
know,
fucking.
fighting and fucking, yep, fighting and fucking,
Fighting and fucking. That's all we were doing.
and operating in our insecurities.
Yep.
So, what you think gonna happen? Recipe for disaster. We
Yep.
had children, we had a marriage, and as quickly as this started, as
It
quickly
ended.
as it ended. And it constantly was this perpetual cycle of fussing, fucking, leaving.
Yeah. Yep.
And
And it was one of those things where it was a pattern. We had developed a pattern. It was an unhealthy pattern
yeah,
because you can only do the grown folk for so much for so long before something else go down. You can
well,
only fuss and fight for so long before something else go down. But what really did
especially
it, what
especially
really
after we had kids.
right, and
It made
that's what I was getting ready to go into. Like what really did it for me when our daughter was 2. Everybody know Nate. I post about Nate and Zion all the time. But when she was 2, the last big argument we had before we split up, we was arguing over a damn book bag. But no, it was something before that. Uh, I can try to
the
remember
last
because
one was her book bag.
yeah, but something had happened before that.
A
Something
lot
happened before
happened
that.
before that.
No, no, no. It was we had got into another argument before that. It was, a matter of fact, it was in that same week.
Mhm. That
It
was
was
that was the same week that my job was kind of up for the top chopping block.
chopping block,
I was
right? And
at the time I was working in daycare system at a daycare, and the child care fund was about to dwindle out at that time in that year, and we was worried about whether we was going to have a job. And instead of going, baby, I'm scared. Baby, I don't know how we gonna do this. Cause my job was actually at the time was bringing in more money than his.
hmm
Baby, I don't know what we're gonna do. And I'm pregnant at the time too.
yeah,
I
she found
went,
out she was pregnant with Zion.
I went
But wait, but
right.
wait, but wait. Let's let's tell a story about how you found out you was pregnant with Zion.
Let me talk about that story.
Yeah, it's shoot. I'm finna tell it, right?
I'm
So,
traumatized about that story.
so
I'm mad about that story, okay?
hold on now. It's funny now because it's funny to me, right? So,
It's not to me. I'm not happy about it. We almost had her body trained, okay? Leave me alone.
so like always, I cook every Sunday, right? I was making some monster choli and I think it was pot roast. She smelled what I was cooking and instantly went to the bathroom. So I go in the bathroom. I'm like, you all right? Like how long? And then I'm like, how far along? At the time she didn't know, but she just knew she was pregnant.
No, he didn't go to the bathroom and go, "You all right?" No, he stood at the door and go,
I did. I
5
did.
minutes of rolling, dying
Cause I
laughing.
knew, cause I knew what it was. I knew what it was. But ain't a bitch. I did ask her was she okay after I got through laughing. I know some of y'all like you asshole. Like no, wait a minute now. Cause if y'all understand the dynamics of our relationship at the time, y'all understand why. You know,
I was upset because we almost had Nay completely
potty
potty
trained.
trained.
She was almost potty trained.
I was looking forward to never going down the diaper aisle ever again. I was like, yay! And then bleh, and find out a little bit later on that week that not only am I pregnant, I'm 6 weeks pregnant. Oh, great.
Mm.
Happy, fun times. I'm like, I don't like you right now. I don't like you right now. Gotta go through this again. No. But also in that same week, my job is up for grabs. We already we already was kind of going through some financial issues at the same time. And nobody just stopped and go, okay, let's just figure this out. Let's just
Nope.
work through
Cause
this. Everybody just calm down. I'm
cause
panicking,
at
going off
cause
on him. He's shutting down.
cause
And
at the time at the time I was just starting cutting hair.
mm-hmm,
Matter of fact, I had just graduated school. I was working at Legacy Cuts over here on 114th in Michigan.
mm-hmm.
I had just started there, and I was still working at Checkers. So,
Woo, that schedule.
man, so I'm working. You know, even before then, I was working. No, well, yeah, even before then, I was working. No, after that, I was working 4 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
But I was working. I was trying to work the whole 8 to 10 hours, but Checkers don't give you didn't give you 8 to 10 hours. The most you will be able to work is 7 unless we were short-handed. But at that time when we was together, they was cutting my hours. And then, like I
Yep.
said, at that time, I had just started cutting hair. I was just starting the Legacy Cuts, so my clientele wasn't as great as it is now. So,
And you would think because we've been through it before and even told each other, we ain't doing this fussing and fighting no more. We parents now, we ain't doing all this no more. Got married with that hope and end up back in the same pattern.
but it started off good though. It started off great.
It
We
did.
didn't fuss, we didn't argue, we didn't do none of that.
It did.
But
It was great. That's how Zion got here. It had to be great.
right, well, it started out great, and then once we found out she was getting ready to have Zion, and everything started going on with our jobs and everything. We
Everything
didn't.
went downhill
Everything went downhill.
to the point where it did get violent.
Yep.
And now here go a bigger issue, all stemming from poor communication.
Hmm.
We didn't see the
We
right
didn't see
way
it
to
coming.
communicate. We didn't see the right way growing up to communicate with other people and with each other romantically. And we didn't use what we actually found out during that time. It ended up in a
Hmm.
divorce. Like by the time I had we when I had our son, we were separated going through the process of divorce. And when it got finalized, he was like almost 1 years old. And
He
even during
yeah,
that
he's about to be here. Yep.
time, we was going back and forth. Just
Back and forth, constantly going back and forth.
constant drama.
But
Oh,
like I
you
say,
need to go
what
get them dead. Oh, you need to go do this. Oh, you need to do that. I'm rolling off at the mouth. He going off at the mouth. We going off and everything. And now our children is in the middle of it.
right?
of what's
Because
already been toxic.
Zion didn't know what was going on. He was still a baby.
But
But
Nay knew.
Nay remember. Nay remember right now to this day. And she just turned 9 yesterday.
And
So
I'm gonna say this. For those who think, oh, you was tell your kids you was too young to remember that. You was too young to remember that. That's a lie. They still remember
nope. Because Nay remember almost everything that happened around that
to
time.
the T, to the T, to the.
And, and like I said, she was just 2 then. She 9 years old now. So she 7 years later, she still remembers. She still bring it up from time to time too. But you know, as as much as fighting the fussing we did, we definitely had to apologize to her because she was there for it all. Like I said, Zion don't remember none of that because Zion's the baby, but they remember. And when she told us how she remembered it, and she remembered everything like it was yesterday. No, it got both of us broke down and got to crying because we like what do we do? What do we do? You on mute?
Hold on.
She like she like what do we? Both of us like what do we do? What do we do to our daughter?
Not
She
only
said,
that, seeing how much it hurt. It
yeah,
hurts to
it
know
hurt her,
she remembered.
right?
She
Because we thought she didn't remember, but she did and
at,
do.
at her age, if I could just go back to her age, I will tell you all the stuff I remember from preschool. I remember going to McDonald's. I remember this, all fun stuff. I do remember some. I rarely remember at that time any bad stuff at the time, but that's not the case from our daughter.
Right?
She remembers every fight. She remembers every argument. She remembered the argument whether we was in the room with each other or on the phone with each other.
Yeah, because
She
she was there
remembers
for it.
how she felt during those times. And it actually took a pandemic. Everybody
Hmm.
down and everybody really come together and figure out
What's going on? What happened?
which actually got, and because of all, but let me tell you this, because of all the fussing and fighting and arguing and the aftermath of the arguments and how we both feeling at the same time of going through a divorce and going through co-parenting, and we co-parenting in a very toxic way and everything, it ultimately ended up with our children almost being out of our custody. I'm
Yep.
gonna tell the truth, it was on me. I went into a whole deep depression. I started doing some really messed up stuff and putting my children lives in danger, all because I just didn't want to deal with it no more. I need a break.
And,
Instead of
and
saying I'm telling somebody I need help. I didn't understand what was going on with me. I just knew you got to keep going. You got to keep going. No matter what they need their mom and you got to keep going. And I was severely depressed and going through postpartum and going through a whole bunch of stuff that I put my children's um, safety and lives in danger. And my mother called DCFS on me.
hmm
Yeah,
and she called me that night and told me about it too. She told me she was gonna call, and so but I had to. We both really had to get out our feelings
hmm at
and
that
and
time
and and, and right then and there. Because if we didn't, we'd have lost our kids. And anybody that's been through going through DCFS, it's hard as hell once they get in the system to get them out.
it
My
is.
niece and nephew going in through that shit right now, and it's hurting me to my heart because I wish I can do more for them and to get them out of there. Especially now that my nephew's foster mother passed away. So I didn't want to go through what my sister went through with her kids with mine. So what
But we
happened?
but we didn't come together just at first. We was just going into the process and still fussing
Yeah,
and still
because
arguing.
they're still arguing, and but eventually we had to have sit down and have a conversation. Like, look, we can't do no more arguing. We can't do no more fussing. None of that. because if we keep on, we gonna lose our kids, and I don't want to have to fight like that for them to get them out the system. I will, but I don't want to. I don't want to have to.
But not only
So
lose our kids to the system, but pretty much lose our kids. If they wasn't even going through the system, we're gonna end up losing our kids either to the streets, either to some that they just trying to escape our toxicity.
right, and that was the premise of us initially cutting out the arguing and the fussing and the fighting. But let
Yeah.
me say this too, though, and a lot of y'all probably don't know this either. A lot of y'all think, men and women, a lot of y'all think y'all not supposed to be cool with the parent of your child, but that's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. What it is both of y'all probably still got feelings for each other and don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
Because honestly, that's what happened with me and her. Because when the pandemic happened, we was already, you know, on good terms, but we was also doing extracurricular activities in between that.
That's what we calling it.
We now we thought to call it what it is. We started fucking again. Okay, we was earning for
We were
about a
doing
good year.
extracurricular activities.
We was fucking for about a good year before the pandemic happened, right? And now y'all probably like, damn, I ain't
It
know that.
was
Yeah,
6 months.
you wouldn't know that,
It wasn't a
but
year. It was 6 months.
whatever. But anyway, so the pandemic happened. The salon got shut down. So
Everybody at home.
everybody at home. I came over here because I said I know she gonna need help with the kids, so let me go over here and help out with the kids best I can. But at the time, I'm not getting no money. But granted, we didn't want for nothing at the house, and if we needed a little extra, we had family members that didn't mind helping us,
Hmm.
which was good. But I started bugging out because I'm like, I ain't got no money coming in. This I didn't know what else to do. But I sat down and I said, wait a minute now, this ain't my fault. So let me just let this play out and see what happens.
And
And so it worked out.
during that time, we actually, it was after the kids went to bed, we sat down and actually started talking about how we was feeling during those times.
Mm-hmm.
And we sat down and started talking about what we was feeling at that time. Going through a pandemic, the kids is remote learning, um, little to no income coming in, help from family, but still making it. We got the stimulus checks. Yeah, I got a stimmy.
You got to send me. I didn't get one.
I got a stimmy. Um,
But when that PUA money came in, it came in
yeah.
though. It came in
But
right when we needed it too.
we still, even though now we're actually in a two-parent home, there's still some stuff that we had to fix, and still some stuff we are fixing now.
Yep.
Even we have resolved some stuff that we done to each other in our relationship in the past. Now we're focusing on healing our children, and it's an
Mm-hmm.
uphill journey. It
With
is.
well for Zion, not really, but for Nay, yeah,
Yeah,
because we got to keep working on Nay. Zion, like I say, Zion don't remember half of what happened back then.
I think
But
Zion, even though he don't remember Zion. Okay, let me put it like this. I noticed this with my children, with our children. Nay is the empath. Nay soak in everybody's energy.
right,
Zion shuts down when it gets chaotic and it gets
he like me.
yeah,
He'll 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 walk away from it and come back to it once everything calm down.
which we have to learn how to teach them another way of expressing how they feel at that moment. Feel me?
Yeah, but
So
sometimes you have to walk away from it because
yeah,
cooler heads got to prevail. You ain't gonna be listening to y'all can't hear each other. Both of y'all trying to talk at the same time, arguing, raising your voice and stuff. That ain't gonna work.
Yeah,
So sometimes
yeah,
it's best to table it, cool down for a minute and then come back to it.
yeah, it is. But at the same time, how to be able to come back to it with a clearer head and be able to express how I'm feeling, how you feeling, and everything. So, with that being said, we hit our hour mark. Next week, tune in next week, same time, same place. Um, 1 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Next week, we're gonna break down some stuff. Next week, we're gonna talk about when love becomes toxic. Now, you heard it
Hmm.
from us. You heard our um
What we went through as far as that go.
but we're gonna talk about some stuff that I think we both have seen on social media, in the media, and
Recently.
recently outside of the media, within our neighborhoods of
Hmm.
when we can see when the love become toxic
Toxic.
and how it affects the family. It affects not only children, but also how it affects your family, everybody's size of the family. We're gonna have a
Hmm.
conversation on how
Yep.
to notice this is not what that's supposed to be. This is not what this gonna be. So y'all tune in next week for that same time.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
Uh-huh.
We just want to
Hopefully by then we'll be on both YouTube and Facebook.
Facebook.
Uh,
Yep.
if not, we here on YouTube. So see y'all then. Thanks for rocking with us. We'll see y'all next week when we talking about
Yep.
some toxic love. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Peace.